I'm Chris Yahnke. I'm the Director of Intramurals and Recreation here at Century College, and I'm 26. I've been working at Century for around 2.5, 3 years. I started summer of 2014 in August, so next August, or this coming August, I will be coming up on 3 years. And then I also kind of did some full-time school, full-time work. There's a little bit of overlap with my graduate program. For my first year working here at Century College, I was actually doing full-time grad student, or I was a full-time student at University of St. Thomas as well in my graduate program. So how I managed to work here as both a student and a professional, both full-time, it was difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. It was very difficult, and at times I did my job, I don't want to say poorly, but at times I was pulled in a lot of different directions. I had to really focus on work-life balance, and I had to really focus on where my priorities were. So if it was not hanging out with friends, not seeing friends or family, every weekend, whatever it may be, I had to really focus in on work, grad school, and then just kind of, taking care of myself as well. So getting to the gym or seeing friends or family whenever the opportunities to do so. So I think Century is a really special place for me to work because, as I was kind of explaining earlier, my undergrad was in history, and I studied a lot of civil rights movement stuff. So I have a huge, a lot of my core values or things I like working with. There's a lot of equity-based work, and I think we do a lot of that stuff here at Century College when it's advocating for students who are coming from different backgrounds, whether that's socioeconomic, racial, gender orientation, whatever it is, whatever you fall under. I think we do a lot of great advocate work there. I would say the most challenging part of my job is working with students who have priorities in different areas. When you work at a public school or a private school where you have residence halls, programming is easy. You have opportunities to plan things at 7, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night. There are soccer clubs, soccer leagues at the University of Minnesota that have games at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, because they can do that. They have 50,000 students. They have students who live on campus. When you work at a community college, you work with students who have families, who have full-time jobs, part-time, multiple full-time jobs, multiple part-time jobs. So time is the #1 priority for most students. So I think the most rewarding part of my job is some of the connections I've made here, some of the work and some of the students I've met. I've worked with a lot of different students from a lot of different backgrounds, and I feel like I've made really great connections for those students, with other students, with different activities. And also just with me, I have students who I'm following what they're doing now. They're off doing bigger and better things at the University of Minnesota or working for law offices, all these different things. So I think being able to work with those students and seeing what they've come or where they've come from and what they've overcome and the triumphs that they've had, I think is incredibly rewarding for me. Again, because I'm here for the students, I'm working for the students, I'm here to serve students. So being able to see my students become successful, to see the students who have worked for me become successful is just incredibly rewarding, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in. Not taking credit for their work, obviously, but I was a part of their path, I was a part of their journey. So down the road, I'd like to work with student athletes. I have some opportunities here to do so at Century College, but ideally I would love to work at a Division I school working with student athletes in basically developmental ways. I would love to work with student athletes if they're trying to enter the job market, get them ready for interviews, resume building, different things like that. Otherwise, leadership development I think is really important with student athletes because at large, Division I schools, these student athletes they're essentially seen as celebrities, so they have a lot of influence on their campus. So I think, developing students in that way I think is very important so that they can be community role models, they can be people that the programs are proud to have, that they can showcase, that they can say, these are our student athletes who are both students and athletes and they're excelling in both of those different ways. And something I'm actually becoming more and more passionate about with a lot of the different things happening in the world, I think is sexual violence prevention with student athletes as well. I think that's something that I would love to get into. It doesn't really exist full-time position-wise at a lot of different schools in the country, but you have, that's not to discredit the work that's already happening out there, but they have, different women's offices or sexual violence officers or Title IX coordinators working with football teams and football programs to do a lot of different training. So both the men and women are being trained in different ways to protect both the community and then themselves. I think it's really important to start focusing more full-time, maybe creating full-time positions where there is a lot of, again, sexual violence prevention work being done. So it's not reactionary, it's actually preventing. the things from actually taking place. So if I want to leave any sort of personal legacy at Century College, again, I think it's that I've been an authentic and genuine person in my leadership, but I also I had a personal goal here at Century when I first started, is to build up the culture a little bit more, so where we have more active students. Again, taking care of yourselves, getting out there and also experiencing things outside of the classroom. I wanted to create, an intramural culture where we have, students who are participating in tournaments, who are participating in open gyms. Because when I came on at Century College, it was very difficult to get 5 people in a room who also wanted to play basketball, who all wanted to play basketball or volleyball. Now we have 30, 40 students in open gyms playing volleyball. We've got 40 students signing up for flag football activities. I've got a couple things I would like to leave behind, but again, if people remember anything about me, I want them to remember that I was authentic and I was genuine in the work and I did. And again, if I had any goal that I wanted to achieve, it's that I really rebuilt our culture, our intramurals culture, where we have students who know that there's intramural activities going on, that they know there's tournaments and there's leagues that they can participate in. And again, our numbers, I think, have grown every year that I've been here. So I'm on that way, but there's always still work to be done, and there's still more culture that I can hopefully build. But it's difficult to do. How do you build a culture of anything? It's really hard to do. So that's why I've been learning along the way, but also I think been achieving that, but still plenty of work to do.